The ultra-successful don't wait for opportunity. They create it with daily habits. Habits are the invisible architecture of your future success. Success is earned in moments you repeat and commit to every day. What if the difference between where you are now and where you want to be is not luck or talent, but the daily habits you choose? What if the small things you do every day shape your future more than any big moment? Imagine waking up each morning with clear direction and unstoppable energy because you have built routines that push you closer to your goals. What if the people you admire most didn't get there by accident, but by following powerful habits that anyone can learn and apply? Success isn't a mystery reserved for a few. It's the result of consistent actions done with intention and discipline. What if changing just one habit today could change everything tomorrow? This video will reveal daily habits that ultra-successful people live by. These are practical steps you can start using now to create lasting progress. Now let's dive in. Number 1. Start every morning by building a powerful self-image. Each day begins with a choice. The moment your eyes open, you decide who you're going to be that day. Before the world gets its hands on you, before your phone starts buzzing, before responsibilities start knocking at your door, you have to step into the version of yourself that is strong, confident, and ready. This isn't some empty affirmation or fluffy idea. This is a deliberate daily practice. The ultra-successful don't wait to feel good about themselves. They create it. They create it through what they say to themselves, through what they focus on, through how they carry themselves. The moment they wake up, a powerful self-image isn't about ego. It's not about acting better than others. It's about developing the internal strength to act in alignment with your purpose. When you believe in who you are, you take action differently. You speak differently. You choose differently. And each day that passes without you building that belief is a day lost in self-doubt, confusion, and hesitation. That's what average people do. They wake up and hope the day goes well. The ultra-successful wake up and make themselves ready for war. Not against others, but against the old version of themselves that wants to keep them small. To build a powerful self-image, the first thing you must do is pay attention to the way you speak to yourself when you're alone. Before you brush your teeth, before you check your phone, ask yourself this simple question: who am I becoming? Not who were you yesterday, not who others expect you to be, but who you are choosing to become. Because your life is going to mirror the image you hold of yourself. If you believe you are weak, you will act like it. If you see yourself as average, your results will be average. But if you condition your mind to see someone strong, disciplined, clear, and capable, your actions will start matching that belief. The ultra-successful repeat that image to themselves every single day. They remind themselves what they stand for. They stand in front of the mirror and don't look away. They speak directly to their doubts. They remind themselves of the work they've done, the hours nobody saw, the nights they didn't quit. You don't need outside validation when your self-image is strong, and you don't get that strength by accident. You build it one morning at a time. Your mind is looking for instructions when you wake up. It's scanning your environment. It's searching for patterns. That's why the first few minutes of your day are critical. If you wake up and start with negativity, scrolling, distractions, you've already sent a message to your mind that your day is reactive, that life happens to you. But if you start with intent, with a strong reminder of who you are and what you're building, you take command. You start driving the day instead of being driven by it. People ask, what does it actually look like to build a strong self-image every morning? It's simple, but it takes commitment. You get up, you sit still, you breathe, you look yourself in the mirror and say, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. This is what I'm building. And you say it with conviction. Not once, not when it feels good. Every single day, you repeat the identity you are stepping into. You don't need a crowd. You don't need applause. You need your own voice reminding you who you are. That voice is the most powerful one you'll ever hear. Successful people don't have more confidence because they were born with it. They have more confidence because they do hard things every day, and they remind themselves of that. They keep promises to themselves. They follow through. They get up early even when it's cold. They train when it's uncomfortable. They study when nobody else is looking. And when they wake up, they don't forget it. They acknowledge it. That acknowledgement turns into pride. That pride turns into belief. And that belief turns into a powerful identity. A strong self-image also protects you from the world's noise. When you know who you are, other people's opinions start losing power over you. You're not easily shaken by judgment. You don't need to be liked. You don't change your actions just to fit in. You move with a calm certainty. That calmness comes from daily self-respect. You earned it. You looked yourself in the mirror and faced your doubts. You didn't look away. You didn't run. You built the image of someone who doesn't fold under pressure, someone who doesn't give up when things get heavy. And understand this, the world will test your self-image every day. That's why you have to build it stronger than your excuses, stronger than fear, stronger than distractions. You might not control what happens outside of you, but you have full control over what you say to yourself in the morning. And that single habit done consistently will separate you from almost everyone, because most people don't even think about it. They just go with the flow. They become what the world pushes them to be, not you, not if you're serious about building something that matters. Don't just do this when you're motivated. Do it when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when you failed yesterday. That's when it counts most. You don't need to pretend everything's perfect. You just need to remind yourself that you're capable of getting back up, of starting over, of becoming stronger. That's what a powerful self-image is. It's the belief that you're not done growing, that your past doesn't define your future, that you're building something inside yourself that no one can take away. You're not waking up early just for productivity. You're waking up to claim your identity. You're not repeating affirmations to sound positive. You're doing it because your future depends on the version of you that shows up every single morning. The world rewards the person who is centered, who knows who they are, who doesn't waste time questioning their worth. That kind of person doesn't need to fake discipline. They live it, because they already see themselves as someone who shows up no matter what. You will never rise above the opinion you hold of yourself. And if you want to achieve more, you have to see more inside yourself. You can't outwork self-doubt if you keep feeding it every morning, with silence or hesitation. You have to replace it with certainty. And certainty only comes from consistency. When you do this long enough, your mind starts to believe you. Your body starts to follow you. Your actions start to align. And before you know it, the world sees in you what you've been building in silence every morning. This is where it all begins. Not on stage, not in public, not when people are watching. It begins in the silence of your morning, in the quiet decision to respect yourself enough to build the strongest version of who you are. Not once, not sometimes, every single day. You are not here to live small. You are not here to live stuck. You are here to rise. And it starts the second you open your eyes. Build your self-image before the world builds it for you. Number 2. Train your mind daily to reject every weak thought. Your mind is the control center of your life. It directs how you feel, how you act, and how you see the world. If you do not train it every single day, it will drift. It will sink into doubt. It will follow fear. It will settle for less. Weak thoughts are not just passing ideas. They are signals that slowly tear down your drive. If you do not catch them early, they grow louder, they build momentum, and they start convincing you that you are not capable. That is why the ultra-successful do not wait for confidence to appear. They build it by challenging every weak thought the moment it shows up. You must understand that your mind is not naturally built to think strong thoughts. It is built to keep you safe. That means it looks for problems, it looks for what could go wrong, and it tries to convince you to avoid risk. That is why you cannot leave it untrained. If you want to achieve something great, you have to rewire how you respond to doubt. The people who reach the highest levels of success are the ones who take control of what gets to stay in their mind and what gets thrown out immediately. The first step is noticing the thought as soon as it arrives. Weak thoughts don't come in shouting, they come in quiet and disguised. They say you're not ready. They say it won't work. They say you'll fail again. And if you don't stop them, they start shaping how you feel. You might not even realize it, but that thought starts to color everything you do next. Your energy drops, your posture shrinks. Your decisions become cautious. That's how powerful one weak thought can be. But it doesn't have to stay that way. The ultra-successful people train themselves to hear those thoughts and stop them cold. They don't argue with them, they don't entertain them, they remove them like poison. They replace them instantly with stronger truths. This takes discipline. You can't do this once and expect lasting change. This is daily mental work. Every morning, every afternoon, every night you are building mental toughness by standing guard at the door of your mind and refusing to let weak thinking stay. Training your mind means you become aware of your inner dialogue, Not just sometimes, but constantly. When you wake up, are you thinking about what you lack or what you can control? When things go wrong, do you start blaming others, or do you take ownership and ask what you can learn? These are not small choices. They define your mindset. They determine whether you grow or stay stuck. Every thought is a seed, and if you feed the weak ones, they will grow roots deep into your confidence. When you train your mind daily, you stop becoming a slave to circumstance. You no longer let your mood control your discipline. You no longer let small failures control your self-worth. The weak thoughts that used to slow you down start losing power, and in their place you begin building thoughts that fuel clarity and grit. You start focusing on what you can change. You stop wasting time on things that drain your focus. You stay locked in on your goals even when nobody is watching. The truth is that weak thoughts will never stop trying to show up. They're a part of life. But you don't have to let them win. You don't have to believe everything you think. You don't have to give power to fear just because it speaks. Training your mind means you decide what gets attention. You decide what becomes belief. And that decision changes everything. Because once you take control of your thoughts, you start shaping your life by intention, not by reaction. One powerful way to train your mind is to challenge every limiting belief you hold with direct evidence. If your mind says you're not good enough, look at your progress. If it says you'll never make it, look at the effort you've put in. Do not let the lies go unanswered. Speak directly to them with truth. Say no. Say that's not who I am anymore. Say I've come too far to think that way now. And the more you do that, the more your mind learns that weak thoughts no longer belong here. Also, pay attention to your environment. What you read, what you watch, who you speak to. All play a role in what your mind absorbs. You cannot train your mind to be strong while feeding it negativity all day. You have to guard what you expose yourself to. You have to protect your energy. That means choosing people who speak growth, not doubt. That means choosing information that builds you, not breaks you down. That means being intentional with what you let in. Because what you let in becomes what you think. Discipline in the mind is not loud. It's quiet. It's in the moments when you want to give up and you don't. It's in the days when you feel tired and still show up. It's in the seconds when a weak thought enters and you destroy it before it takes root. That's how you build strength. Not with one big decision, but with repeated daily decisions to think like a leader, to think like someone who finishes what they start, to think like someone who is building a future worth fighting for. When you train your mind, you begin to separate yourself from the masses. Most people let their thoughts control them. They believe every doubt. They follow every fear. But you are not most people. You're training for something bigger. You're preparing for a level of success that requires a different mindset. You don't have the luxury of casual thinking. You don't have time to entertain thoughts that steal your energy. You are here to lead your life with focus, strength, and conviction. You might not see the results of this training right away, but over time it changes everything. It changes how you walk into a room. It changes how you speak. It changes what you expect from yourself. And most importantly, it changes what you tolerate from your own thinking. You no longer allow weakness to live in your head. You no longer wait for motivation. You build a mind that moves regardless of how it feels. When others are breaking under pressure, you remain steady. When others let doubt control their decisions, you stay locked in, because you've done the work. You've trained when it was hard. You've repeated the strong thoughts over and over, until they became automatic. That's what separates the elite from the average. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's mental discipline built every single day with full intention. Every morning you get the chance to begin again, to set the tone, to decide that no matter what happens today, your thoughts will not own you. You will own them. You will command your attention. You will direct your focus. And you will reject anything that makes you small. That is what training your mind looks like. It's not complicated, but it takes commitment. And it's the reason the ultra-successful continue to rise. Because they do not let weak thoughts take up space in their minds. They take control before the day begins. And they don't hand that control away, not to fear, not to excuses, not to doubt. They stay in charge because they trained for it.
Number 3.
Follow a strict schedule that respects your future. Your future is not created by luck or chance. It is shaped every single day by the structure you live by. A strict schedule is not a punishment. It is a commitment to something greater than how you feel in the moment. It is a decision to organize your hours around what matters most. When you live without structure, you drift. You fill your time with what's urgent instead of what's important. But when you build your days with purpose, you begin building a life that moves forward with power. The most successful people in the world don't leave their time to chance. They map their days with intention because they know time is their most valuable asset. When you give your time away to distractions, laziness, or indecision, you are trading your future for comfort. But when you schedule your hours around growth, discipline, and focused action, you are proving that your future is worth something, that your goals deserve protection, that your dreams are not just wishes but real outcomes you're committed to making happen. You can tell a lot about someone's future by looking at their schedule. If it's filled with randomness and inconsistency, they are hoping for progress instead of building it. But if it's designed with discipline and purpose, they are on a path that leads somewhere real. A strict schedule isn't about being busy. It's about being intentional. Every task has a reason. Every hour is a block of time you're investing. And each choice you make in that schedule either pushes you forward or pulls you back. Living this way requires you to stop negotiating with your feelings. You stop asking whether you feel like it. You stop waiting for inspiration. You stop giving yourself permission to drift. You follow the schedule because it's what your future demands. Not because you're in the mood. Not because it's easy. But because you understand that every minute you waste now is a minute you won't have later. This kind of thinking builds maturity. It builds inner strength. It builds the kind of self-respect that shows up in results. You don't need a full calendar to feel important. You need a calendar that reflects what matters most. Your goals should be in there. Your learning should be in there. Your training, your planning, your recovery. It all belongs on the schedule. The ultra-successful don't live in chaos. They build habits inside time blocks. They show up for themselves even when no one is looking. They're not driven by how they feel, they're driven by their mission. Respecting your future means protecting your time from what doesn't serve you. It means saying no more often. It means closing the door on habits that waste your energy. It means choosing depth over comfort. When you live by a strict schedule, you start making better decisions. You start noticing what you used to tolerate. You start being honest about how much time you've thrown away before. This awareness isn't meant to make you feel guilty. It's meant to wake you up. A strong schedule becomes your defense against mediocrity. It keeps you grounded in reality. It reminds you that your time is limited, and that every hour you spend is either building your future or delaying it. That mindset is rare. Most people wake up and go with the flow. They respond to the day instead of leading it. But not you. You're choosing to lead. You're choosing to live with order. You're choosing to put your future first. Following a strict schedule doesn't make your life boring. It makes your life clear. You know what matters. You know what needs to be done. You no longer waste hours wondering what to do next. You move with clarity because your time has direction. You wake up with a plan, and that plan holds you accountable. That structure becomes your standard, and that standard is what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. When your schedule is built around growth, you begin to trust yourself more. You stop overthinking. You stop procrastinating. You stop chasing every shiny distraction. You focus. You follow through. You become a person of execution. That kind of discipline compounds. It shows up in your work. It shows up in your results. It shows up in the way others start to view you. They see the consistency. They see the seriousness. They see someone who's not waiting for success, but working for it every day. This schedule isn't about being perfect. It's about being committed. It's about showing up when it's hard. It's about doing what you said you would do long after the feeling has left. There will be days when you're tired. There will be days when things go wrong. But when your schedule is tight and aligned with your future, you don't get thrown off course. You adjust, you reset, and you keep going. That consistency builds momentum. And momentum is what creates results that last. Every successful person you admire lives by structure. They respect their time because they respect their goals. They don't waste hours chasing distractions. They don't delay what matters. They lock in on what needs to be done and they do it. Not once. Not when it's convenient. Every single day. That mindset isn't talent. It's trained. And it's available to anyone willing to take control of their time. Look at your life right now. Ask yourself honestly if your schedule reflects your goals. Are you making time for what matters most? Are you giving your best energy to the things that build your future? Or are you giving it away to comfort and excuses? This awareness is where change begins. When you start designing your days with discipline, you stop waiting for success to find you. You start creating it one block of focused time at a time. A strict schedule creates pressure. And that pressure is a gift. It forces you to rise. It forces you to prepare. It forces you to move with urgency. Without it, you get lazy. You get distracted. You forget what's at stake. But when your time is organized with purpose, your life becomes aligned with your vision. Your days become powerful because they are directed by intention, not emotion. You have to treat time like it's your most valuable resource. Because it is. You can't get it back. Once it's gone, it's gone. And that's why a schedule is not optional. It's essential. It's how you honor your goals. It's how you take ownership of your path. It's how you prove to yourself that you're serious. Anyone can talk about wanting more, but only those who live with structure will actually create more. Your future depends on what you do today, and what you do today is controlled by how you manage your time. Every appointment, every task, every moment should serve the bigger picture. When you follow a strict schedule that respects your future, you start moving differently. You start thinking long-term. You stop living for the weekend. You stop wasting mornings. You start seeing every day as an opportunity to get better. And that's how success is built, not by chance, but by consistent, intentional action.
Number 4. Speak your goals out loud with full conviction. The world may be filled with noise, but your voice should never go silent when it comes to your goals. When you speak your goals out loud with real conviction, you do more than just say words. You create direction. You plant something deep inside your mind that begins to shape the way you act, think, and respond to challenges. Speaking your goals is not just about telling others what you want. It's about proving to yourself that what you believe in is strong enough to be spoken without hesitation. Most people hold their goals quietly inside because they fear judgment. They fear being wrong. They fear failure. But the ultra-successful are not afraid of claiming what they want out of life. They speak it into the room. They speak it into their own minds. They speak it into existence through repetition, belief, and persistence. When you declare your vision out loud, it becomes more than just a hope. It becomes a command to your actions. It becomes a reminder of what you're here to do. You must understand the power of your own voice. When your words are aligned with your purpose, they trigger action. The act of saying, "I will succeed," or "I will finish this," or "I will become this kind of person," triggers a shift inside your brain. You begin to organize your efforts around those words. Your decisions change. Your discipline sharpens. Your sense of urgency rises. But if your goals stay trapped in silence, they lose their weight. They remain distant, vague, and powerless. When you speak your goals out loud with full conviction, you are not looking for permission. You're not waiting for the right moment or the perfect plan. You are telling your mind and the world that this is where you're going. You say it clearly. You say it without a doubt. You say it even when no one else is watching. That's what builds internal leadership. That's what creates a strong foundation inside you. Every goal you say with purpose becomes a contract between who you are now and who you are becoming. Conviction is not about volume. It's not about sounding loud. It's about speaking with belief. You don't whisper your goals. You don't mumble your future. You speak with energy because energy gives life to ideas. When you say your goals with confidence, you start to feel different. You begin to act with more clarity. You don't wait around anymore. You stop second guessing. You begin walking forward, even if the path isn't fully lit. Speaking your goals out loud every day puts them in front of you. They stop hiding in the background of your life. You wake up and you remember what you're fighting for. You look in the mirror and you repeat them with purpose. That kind of repetition builds identity. You don't just say the words. You start to believe them.
You begin to feel them in your bones. Your actions start to match what you've been declaring. You hold yourself to a higher standard because you've made your intentions known. The people who stay average often keep their goals locked away because they don't want to face the responsibility that comes with owning them. But the successful choose to face that pressure head on. They speak their goals into every day with a kind of seriousness that cannot be faked. They understand that words create momentum. When you speak something with conviction, you are more likely to follow through. You feel a responsibility to live up to what you've claimed. If your goal is to become healthier, speak it every day. If your goal is to master a skill, speak it every morning. If your goal is to become a leader, speak it every chance you get. Say it with belief. Say it when you're tired. Say it when you feel doubt trying to sneak in. Because the moment you stop speaking it, the easier it becomes to forget it. And when you forget it, you stop working for it. You lose focus. You drift. You slow down. That's why your voice is one of your greatest tools for discipline. This is about creating emotional connection with your mission. Saying, "I want to win," is not enough. You must feel it when you speak it. You must attach real meaning to the words. That emotional energy moves you. It sharpens your actions. It fuels your decisions. When you speak your goals like they matter, you build a stronger relationship with your future. It becomes personal. It becomes non-negotiable. And that kind of attachment pushes you through resistance. This doesn't mean you have to broadcast your goals to everyone around you. It means you have to speak them to yourself with honesty and conviction. You don't need applause. You don't need validation. You need consistency. Speak them in your room. Speak them in your car. Speak them during your walks. Speak them when it's quiet. Speak them when no one is around to hear it. Because the most important person who needs to hear it is you. Every time you speak your goals, you are programming your mind to believe in them. The more often you speak them with strength, the more they start to feel real. Your mind will begin to search for opportunities. Your energy will start to rise and your habits will align with your words. That's how internal change begins. Not through silence, but through repetition of what matters most. People will sometimes say that speaking goals is pointless. That action is all that counts. But here's the truth. Words and actions are connected. Words fuel actions. When you say it out loud, your body begins to respond. When you repeat it with power, your commitment increases. You begin to live like the person who deserves that outcome. And that identity is what keeps you moving when things get hard. You must speak with clarity. Say exactly what you want. Not maybe. Not one day. Not if everything goes right. Say I will. Say I must. Say I'm becoming this now. Speak in present tense. Speak with finality. Speak as someone who is not negotiating with life but claiming your position in it. The more specific your words, the clearer your path becomes. You're not speaking for attention. You're speaking to build consistency between your words and your actions. There will be days when the goal feels far away. Speak anyway. There will be moments when the doubt feels heavier than the belief. Speak anyway. There will be times when progress seems invisible. Speak anyway. That discipline of repetition is what strengthens you from the inside out. It teaches your mind to stay locked in even when the external results haven't shown up yet. Don't wait until you feel motivated to speak. Speak so that motivation can return. Don't wait for proof to believe. Speak so that belief becomes the proof. Your voice is a weapon. Your words are a guide. Use them to stay on track. Use them to stay centered. Use them to keep your fire lit. When you speak your goals with conviction, they become part of your identity. You stop wondering if it's possible. You stop hesitating. You stop explaining yourself. You begin to live as if what you said is already happening. That level of confidence creates movement. That kind of belief attracts discipline. That kind of internal decision creates external results. Speak your goals with energy. Speak them with focus. Speak them with truth and watch how your life begins to match your words. Number 5. Destroy laziness daily by taking immediate, bold action. Laziness is not just a moment of rest. It is a quiet habit that steals your time, your progress, and your future one excuse at a time. The ultra-successful know that waiting is the enemy of growth, and hesitation is the seed of regret. That's why they move fast. That's why they act now. They don't negotiate with laziness. They don't reason with delay. They respond with boldness. Immediate action is how you interrupt the cycle of comfort that tries to keep you small and average. Laziness feeds on stillness. It grows when you pause too long before doing what needs to be done. If you want to break through it, you can't wait for motivation. You can't wait until you feel ready. You have to move first. You have to take a step before your feelings catch up. The decision to act must be stronger than your mood. That's the daily battle. That's where discipline is built. The people who do well in life are not always the smartest or the most talented. They are the ones who move when others freeze. Each day gives you two paths. One pulls you toward ease and delay. The other demands your energy and courage. If you wait too long to choose the second one, your brain will pull you into the first. The longer you sit, the harder it gets to stand. That's why bold action must be your first habit of the day. You get up and move with force. You don't slide through your morning. You hit it with power. You build a pattern that says, I lead my life instead of I wait for it to lead me. Laziness is sneaky. It wears different masks. Sometimes it shows up as overthinking. Sometimes it disguises itself as fake planning. Sometimes it pretends to be rest, when really it's avoidance. You have to learn how to spot it in your behavior. You have to be honest when you're slipping into delay. Bold action is how you interrupt the pattern. You don't have to finish everything in one move, but you must start. You must begin. You must take one meaningful action that shakes up the comfort that tries to hold you back. The successful don't waste time debating with their weaknesses. They make bold decisions early in the day to set the tone. They wake up and get to work. They begin before it's easy. They push themselves into movement before the mind has time to offer excuses. That early movement builds energy. It builds clarity. It wakes up your purpose. And from there, the next action becomes easier. That's how you build real momentum. Not by sitting around waiting for inspiration, but by doing the hard thing without hesitation. Bold action also changes how you see yourself. Every time you do something difficult, without delay, you send a message to your mind that you are in charge. That message becomes part of your identity. You stop seeing yourself as lazy or passive. You begin to view yourself as someone who takes charge. That self-image shapes your future behavior. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to believe that when you say you'll do something, you mean it. You don't have to feel brave to take bold action. You just need to act before your doubts take control. Boldness is not a feeling, it's a decision. It's what you choose to do even when your mind tries to hold you back. And every time you win that choice, you grow stronger. Every time you move when it's hard, you break a piece of the lazy pattern that has been holding you hostage. Immediate action builds integrity. It keeps you from living with regret. Most people don't fail because of what they did. They fail because of what they never started. They let the moment pass. They waited too long. They told themselves later too many times. That later turned into weeks, months, years. The ultra-successful don't live like that. They know the cost of delay. They treat time as their most valuable currency, and they spend it by moving boldly toward what matters. If you feel yourself dragging your feet, stop and decide. Ask yourself, what would the disciplined version of me do right now? Then do that. Don't think about it for another hour. Don't scroll for distraction. Don't lie to yourself and call it planning. Just do the action. Whether it's a workout, a phone call, a task, a study session, whatever it is, attack it. Put your full energy into it, even if it's just for 5 minutes. That one move breaks the grip of laziness. It reminds you that you are capable of leading your life with force. You have to learn to push against the resistance every day, not once a week, not only when you're motivated, daily, consistently, because laziness doesn't disappear after one good day. It waits. It sneaks back in the moment you start relaxing too soon. That's why the commitment must be daily. That's why the bold action must be a habit, not a reaction. You don't act bold only when it's convenient. You live that way. You train it. You practice it. This is not about punishing yourself. It's about strengthening yourself. It's about building the kind of internal strength that keeps you moving when other people freeze. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. You'll stop looking for the easy way out. You'll stop bargaining with delay. You'll start to feel uncomfortable with wasting time. That discomfort will become a guide. It will push you to move faster, think sharper, and act with more intensity. You don't need a perfect plan to start. You don't need a guarantee. You need a reason. And if your future matters to you, that's enough. Act on that. Use it as fuel. Say, I don't need to feel perfect to make a move. I just need to care enough to stop wasting time. That's how the ultra-successful think. That's how they live. That's how they stay ahead while others fall behind. Bold action also helps you finish what you start. When you act with strength in the beginning, you set a tone that carries through. You avoid the slow drift of half effort. You stay locked in because you began with clarity and force. That first step creates a chain of actions. Each one builds on the last. You don't get stuck because you're too busy moving. You don't overthink because your body is already in motion. This is how you take control of your life. Not with perfect knowledge, not with endless research, but with movement, daily action, strong decisions, fast execution. That's the rhythm that beats laziness. That's the routine that keeps you sharp. That's the life of someone who refuses to waste their time. Train yourself to act without delay. Train yourself to take the first step while others are still thinking. Train yourself to make bold action your default response to hesitation. And watch how fast things begin to change. Watch how quickly your life begins to reflect your effort. Watch how powerful you become once you stop giving laziness even one chance to win.
Number 6. Write your vision daily to lock in your direction. When you wake up each day and take the time to write your vision, you're not just scribbling words on a page. You are commanding your life to move in a direction that matters. You are choosing purpose over confusion. You are choosing structure over distraction. Most people wander through life unclear of where they're headed, hoping something good happens along the way. But those who rise above don't rely on luck. They build their path with intention. They shape it with words. They define their days with clarity. Writing your vision is an act of power. It means you are not okay with drifting. It means you are deciding on who you will become and what you will do with your time. And when you do it every day, your mind begins to adapt to the future you've declared. You begin to notice things that support your path. You begin to ignore the noise that doesn't fit the picture. You begin to show up in your own life with seriousness and energy. When you take that pen and put your vision on paper, you create a bond between your thoughts and your actions. You are not just thinking about your dreams. You are locking them in. You are making them visible. You are anchoring them in reality. That small act each morning builds a level of discipline that most people never even think about. It keeps your mind centered. It keeps your heart focused. It gives your actions weight and meaning. Without a written vision, the day controls you. You move from task to task with no purpose behind the motion. You get caught up in distractions because you never took time to decide what truly matters. But when your vision is written and clear, you can tell the difference between what is urgent and what is important. You can say no to things that don't serve you, not because you're being difficult, but because you have already said yes to something greater. People talk a lot about goals. They set them once and never look at them again. But your vision is not a one-time exercise. It must become a habit. You write it again and again, not because it changed, but because you did. Every day you show up with new fears, new pressures, new doubts, and every day you must remind yourself where you are going and why it matters. That repetition is not boring, it's essential. That's how direction becomes permanent. That's how commitment grows. Writing your vision also changes your state. It moves you out of survival mode and into creation mode. It helps you step out of the noise of the world and focus on what you're building. It lifts you out of the temporary and puts you into the long game. When you put your focus on the vision, you stop being reactive. You stop letting other people's urgency steal your attention. You begin each day with ownership. Your vision doesn't need to sound perfect. You don't need fancy words. What matters is truth. What matters is clarity. You write the life you are after. You describe the person you are becoming.
You remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. That's how you keep going when things get hard. That's how you hold on when the results are not showing up yet. Because deep down you've seen the destination, and you're not going to quit halfway. Every day that you skip this habit is a day you risk drifting. It's a day you allow the world to pull you in 20 directions. But when you sit down and write it again, you take back control. You ground yourself in something solid. You get your mind on track. And once your mind is aligned, your actions begin to follow. You stop wasting hours. You stop second guessing. You start moving with precision. This is not about dreaming. It's about discipline. Your vision is not some distant fantasy. It's the blueprint. It's the script. It's the direction you've chosen. And by writing it each day, you're refusing to live without intention. You're refusing to go through life on autopilot. You're saying, I know where I'm headed. I know who I'm becoming. I will not forget it. And don't just write what you want. Write how you will act. Write how you will show up. Write how you will respond when pressure comes. Write how you will stay consistent when it's not convenient. Your vision is not just about where you're going. It's about who you are being on the way there. And the more detailed that picture becomes, the more real it feels. The more real it feels, the more likely you are to stick with it. Ultra-successful people don't leave this to chance. They know that repetition sharpens focus. They know that writing something by hand wires it into the brain. They know that without a strong direction, even the best intentions fade. That's why they do this daily. That's why they treat their vision like oxygen, not optional, but vital. This is a habit that doesn't take long, but it gives more than it takes. It keeps you aligned. It helps you think better. It gives your day a sense of urgency that comes from purpose, not panic. You're not rushing around anymore. You're working from a place of calm direction. You know where to place your energy. You know what deserves your attention. You know what you're building. There are going to be days when you feel tired, days when you doubt yourself, days when the pressure is high and your motivation is low. That's exactly when your written vision matters most. That's when it becomes your anchor. You can read it and feel your strength return. You can read it and remember why this path is worth it. You can read it and refuse to lower your standards. This is the difference between wandering through the year and leading yourself through the year. This is the difference between chasing everything and focusing on what matters. Your mind will follow what it sees often. That's why you give it something worth following. That's why you take 5 or 10 minutes to sit with a pen and take control of your direction. You don't need to wait for the perfect environment to start this. You don't need the right notebook or the right chair or the perfect setting. You need the decision to value your direction more than your distractions, the decision to show up for your future, even when it's still being built, the decision to put your words into the world and make them count. What you write shapes how you think shapes how you act, and how you act becomes the life you live. Writing your vision every day is not just a habit, it's a declaration. It's a refusal to live below your potential. It's a daily reminder that you are building something meaningful. It's how you keep your eyes forward when the world is trying to pull you sideways.
Number 7. Challenge your excuses every day without any mercy. Every excuse you make is a barrier between where you are and where you want to be. It doesn't matter how valid it sounds or how convincing it feels in the moment. An excuse is still a refusal to grow. It's a moment where your mind chooses comfort over responsibility. If you want to rise, if you truly want to step into a life that's different from the one you've always had, then you must begin to challenge every single excuse that tries to slow you down. Not some of them. Not the obvious ones. All of them. Every day. Without holding back. You tell yourself you're tired. Challenge it. You say there's not enough time. Challenge it. You believe you're not ready. Challenge it. These thoughts will show up because they are easy. Because they ask nothing of you. But you're not here to take the easy path. You're here to build strength. You're here to develop discipline. You're here to train yourself to do what others avoid. And that starts by becoming ruthless with your own excuses. Every day you're given choices. You can talk yourself into staying the same. Or you can talk yourself into progress.
You can accept a reason for inaction, or you can question it with courage. If the excuse feels familiar, that's a sign it's been holding you back for years. That's a sign it needs to be confronted, not comforted. You don't build a strong life by protecting your weakness. You build it by facing it head on and refusing to let it lead. Excuses love comfort. They thrive in environments where discipline is missing. They wait for moments of stress, and then step in with words that sound like relief but carry long-term regret. It's okay to skip today. You've done enough for now. You'll get to it later. Those thoughts are dressed in kindness, but they rob you of growth. They delay your progress. They train you to give in whenever it's inconvenient. That is not the standard of someone who is serious. You cannot change your life if you keep letting yourself off the hook. You cannot reach new levels if you make peace with every reason to stop. People talk about motivation, but it's not motivation that gets you up early or keeps you working when it's tough. It's your refusal to give excuses power. It's your decision to act in spite of how you feel. That's where self-respect grows. That's where pride is built. The moment you challenge an excuse, you learn something about yourself. You find out if you are still controlled by old habits or if you are ready to lead your life with intention. You find out if your future matters more than your comfort. You find out if you've been speaking goals or actually living them. Because real change doesn't happen in public. It happens in those quiet moments when no one is watching and you still choose to do what's hard. You have to become the kind of person who doesn't tolerate their own excuses. The kind who stops mid-thought and says, "That's not who I want to be." The kind who replaces hesitation with movement. The kind who questions every limitation before it settles into belief. That mindset doesn't come naturally. You have to build it. You build it through repetition. You build it by showing up day after day, even when everything in you wants to pull back. You can't wait until you feel stronger. You can't wait until you're more confident. You build strength and confidence by moving without permission from your feelings. You don't become disciplined by talking about it. You become disciplined by acting when it's uncomfortable. You build power by confronting your own mental noise and walking through it. And here's the truth. Your excuses are not unique. Everyone has them. The difference is that some people live by them and others break them. Some people protect their excuses and others expose them. What side do you want to be on? You have to decide. You have to choose every single day, sometimes every hour, to challenge the thoughts that want to keep you small. Not kindly, not gently, with strength. There's no growth in a life ruled by excuses. There's no greatness in a routine that caves every time it gets hard. If you want to be exceptional, if you want to look back on your life with pride, then every excuse must be faced and defeated. Not once, not occasionally, daily, with zero negotiation. This is not about guilt. It's about responsibility. It's about seeing that your future is built in the moments where you could have stopped but didn't, where you could have delayed but acted, where you could have made an excuse but chose to rise above it. Those decisions stack up. They become who you are. They shape your character and they create momentum that no excuse can interrupt. The habit of challenging your excuses makes you sharper. It makes you more resilient. It keeps your energy directed toward what matters. You stop wasting time explaining why you didn't act and start using that time to build something real. You stop telling stories and start writing a new one through action. That's what separates those who try from those who execute. Excuses will always come dressed as reasonable thoughts. You have to look beyond the surface and see the damage they do. You have to call them out even when no one else would blame you for giving in. Because you're not building this life for other people's approval. You're building it to be proud of who you are, when you're alone with yourself. Every time you override an excuse, you grow. Every time you act in its place, you win a battle most never even fight. And that's where your edge comes from. That's where your consistency lives. That's where your future gets built. One bold decision at a time. You earn confidence by doing what you said you would do, especially when it's not easy. And that can only happen when you stop letting excuses run your life. You already know what you need to do. You've already said what you want. The question is, will you keep feeding the same excuses that held you back yesterday? Or will you finally step into a mindset that doesn't make room for them? That's what this habit is about. retraining your mind to reject the easy path, retraining your behavior to match your ambition, retraining your identity to reflect your values. Every day you face that choice. Every day you get the chance to say, not today, not this excuse, not this limitation, not this delay. And every time you say it, you strengthen the part of you that leads, the part that acts, the part that builds. That's how real transformation happens. That's how you become the person who doesn't just hope but moves, acts, builds, and becomes.
Number 8. End your day by reviewing every action you took. When the day draws to a close, the time you spend reflecting on your actions shapes your tomorrow. Each choice you made during the day, every moment you acted or hesitated, holds valuable lessons. The ultra-successful understand that without review, progress becomes blind. They know that success is not about luck or chance, but about deliberate adjustments based on honest self-assessment. The practice of reviewing every action you took is where growth is forged. It forces clarity. It uncovers patterns. It builds awareness. The day's activities might seem like just a series of events, but in truth, they are bricks forming the foundation of your future. If those bricks are laid without thought, cracks develop. Mistakes go unnoticed, good decisions get repeated, and time gets wasted on what doesn't matter. When you actively review your day, you take control. You gain insight into what worked and what did not. This kind of self-discipline isn't about beating yourself up, but about being truthful with yourself. A detailed review means more than just remembering what you did. It means asking questions that matter. Did this action bring me closer to my goals? Was I productive or distracted? Did I handle challenges with strength or avoidance? What moments required courage, and which ones demanded more effort? By answering these questions honestly, you build a mental map of your behavior. This map guides you away from repeated errors and toward consistent progress. Reviewing your day involves acknowledging both successes and failures. It's easy to celebrate wins and easy to ignore shortcomings. But the ultra-successful know that true mastery lies in facing all parts of the day with equal attention. Recognizing small wins boosts confidence and motivation, reinforcing positive habits. At the same time, examining where things fell short offers opportunities to learn and improve. This balance is crucial for steady advancement. When you take the time to assess your day, you develop a habit of accountability. No longer can you let your time slip by unnoticed. Instead, you become the steward of your own journey. Accountability sharpens your focus. It holds you responsible for your results. It also strengthens your integrity, the trust you place in yourself to do what you say you will do. Without this habit, intentions remain vague and results inconsistent. The sensory experience of reviewing your day helps to anchor your learning. Think about how you felt in moments of success or failure. Was there energy in the accomplishment? Was there tension in the setback? These feelings provide clues to what drives you and what drains you. The ultra-successful tune into these sensations, understanding that emotions are powerful signals that cannot be ignored. They use emotional feedback as part of their reflection to better align actions with their deepest values. Writing down the review makes the habit even more effective. Journaling your daily actions, thoughts, and feelings creates a record you can return to. This record reveals trends that you might miss otherwise. It captures your progress over weeks and months. With writing, abstract thoughts become concrete. Vague impressions turn into clear lessons. Putting your review on paper or screen adds weight to your reflection and encourages deeper honesty. Reviewing the day also means prioritizing what needs to be adjusted tomorrow. It's not enough to simply look back without planning forward. The ultra-successful know that every review is a chance to refine their approach. Maybe you need to delegate more, eliminate distractions, or say no to commitments that don't serve your goals. Perhaps you discover new methods or strategies worth trying. This forward-thinking aspect of review ensures that you are not stuck in the past but moving purposefully into the future. The habit of ending each day with this review cultivates mental clarity. It reduces anxiety about unfinished tasks because you confront them rather than avoid them. It frees your mind for rest by resolving loose ends. When you know exactly where you stand and what needs attention, your sleep improves and your focus sharpens for the next day. Mental clutter is a silent enemy of success. Clearing it through reflection is a powerful daily habit. This practice also nurtures humility. It teaches you to see your limits without judgment. Everyone makes mistakes and misses chances. The difference is what you do after you recognize them. The ultra-successful view every day's review as a tool for growth, not self-punishment. They approach themselves with kindness, but hold themselves firmly accountable. This balance creates resilience and keeps motivation alive. Reviewing every action of the day highlights the importance of consistency. Success is rarely the result of one big move but of many small choices made repeatedly over time. When you take stock each evening, you reinforce the idea that every moment matters. This awareness stops careless habits from creeping in and fuels intentional living. It reminds you that the path to success is a daily journey, not a sudden leap. This habit builds your confidence. Knowing you have a plan to reflect and improve makes it easier to face challenges. It removes fear of failure because mistakes become lessons, not dead ends. You gain a sense of control over your destiny because you refuse to be passive. You become active in shaping your life, and that sense of agency is empowering beyond words. The ultra-successful also use this time to celebrate progress, no matter how small. Every step forward deserves recognition. Taking time to acknowledge your efforts boosts your spirit and renews your energy. It creates a positive feedback loop that propels you forward. Gratitude for what you accomplished fuels motivation for what lies ahead. This is how momentum builds. When the day ends with this habit, your mindset shifts from reaction to proaction. Instead of waiting for tomorrow to bring opportunities or challenges, you prepare yourself. You plan for obstacles. You equip your mind and spirit to act deliberately. This readiness keeps you ahead of the curve. It makes you someone who doesn't just drift but steers. Your review also trains your decision-making. As you evaluate your actions, you start seeing which choices brought value and which didn't. Over time, this sharpens your judgment. You learn to prioritize better. You spot distractions sooner. You become more selective with your energy and attention. This clarity is a critical skill in a world filled with noise and endless options. The quality of your life depends on the quality of your habits. Ending your day by reviewing every action you took is a habit that multiplies your potential. It turns ordinary days into building blocks of extraordinary success. It is a habit of winners because it demands honesty, discipline, and reflection. It is a habit that honors your goals by holding you accountable to them every single day. Even when days are tough or feel wasted, this review habit reveals hidden progress. Sometimes just noticing that you tried is enough to keep going. Sometimes understanding what didn't work gives new direction. This kind of self-awareness is priceless. It lights the way when motivation fades. It provides a steady rhythm to your efforts and reminds you that growth is always possible. The habit creates a mindset where you refuse to settle for less than your potential. You start to see your life as a project you are continuously crafting. This view changes everything. You become proactive, strategic, and focused. You move from feeling stuck to feeling empowered. Your daily review becomes a powerful ritual of renewal and preparation. In the end, the action of reviewing your day is not a chore. It is a gift you give yourself. A gift that sharpens your focus, increases your awareness, and builds your resilience. It is a habit that keeps you honest and aligned with your deepest intentions. It is the silent engine driving the success of those who don't leave their progress to chance but take control of it with purpose every evening.
Number 9. Do hard things daily that make you mentally tougher. Life is filled with challenges that test your strength. The difference between those who succeed and those who struggle lies in how they face difficulty. The ultra-successful do not avoid hard things. They seek them out and do them daily. This is not about unnecessary suffering or self-punishment. It is about building mental toughness through deliberate action. When you commit to doing hard things regularly, you develop a resilience that becomes your greatest asset. Hard things might be waking up early when your body wants to rest. They could be making difficult decisions instead of avoiding them. It might mean tackling a problem you've been putting off, or having a tough conversation that requires courage. Each time you choose to face what is uncomfortable, you grow stronger. Mental toughness is not something you are born with. It is a skill built through repeated exposure to discomfort. Every hard thing you do adds a layer of strength to your character. The process is simple, but demands consistency. It means refusing to let comfort rule your actions. The temptation to take the easy way out is strong, but it steals your potential. Each time you conquer a hard task, you prove to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. This builds confidence that spills over into all areas of your life. Mental toughness is a muscle. Like any muscle, it needs exercise to grow. Doing hard things daily is that exercise. Mental toughness helps you push through setbacks. Life will bring obstacles and failures. Those who avoid hard things often crumble under pressure. But if you have trained yourself to handle discomfort, challenges don't seem so overwhelming. You can stay calm, focused, and determined even when things get tough. This steadiness allows you to make better choices under stress. Mental toughness turns problems into opportunities to grow. Hard things build your self-discipline. When you decide to do something difficult and follow through, you reinforce the habit of control over impulses. This habit is the foundation of success. Without self-discipline, good intentions remain dreams. Doing hard things every day shows you that discipline is possible and leads to freedom. It is the freedom to act intentionally rather than react emotionally. The feeling after completing a difficult task is unlike any other. It is a mix of pride, relief, and energy. That feeling becomes addictive in a good way. It creates a positive cycle where you seek out more challenges because you know the reward is worth it. The ultra-successful crave that feeling because it means progress. They understand that mental toughness is a source of power and peace. Doing hard things also sharpens your problem-solving skills. When you face challenges head-on, you learn to think clearly under pressure. You develop creativity and resourcefulness. Hard tasks force you to look at problems from different angles. This mental flexibility prepares you for bigger challenges. Each victory over difficulty is a lesson that equips you for the next one. Facing hard things daily teaches patience. Growth and success are not instant. They require time and perseverance. When you regularly challenge yourself, you become comfortable with slow progress. You stop expecting immediate results and learn to trust the process. This patience is vital because most worthwhile achievements take time to build. Mental toughness built through daily hard work improves your emotional strength. Life's difficulties often trigger fear, doubt, or frustration. When you expose yourself to hard tasks regularly, you learn to manage these emotions better. You gain control over your reactions instead of being controlled by them. This emotional balance helps you stay motivated and focused on your goals. Hard things can also mean setting boundaries and saying no to distractions. It is hard to refuse comfort, easy options, and short-term pleasures. But doing this strengthens your willpower. The ultra-successful guard their time and energy fiercely. They say no to what doesn't align with their vision. This discipline in choices is another form of mental toughness. Choosing to do hard things daily connects deeply with your sense of purpose. When you push beyond comfort, you clarify what matters most. You learn to prioritize your actions and align them with your dreams. This clarity drives motivation. It fuels your desire to keep going even when the path is difficult. Mental toughness and purpose work hand in hand. Developing this habit also encourages humility. You come to understand your limits and areas needing improvement. This awareness is not discouraging but freeing. It opens the door to growth and learning. Each hard challenge you take on shows you something new about yourself. This knowledge builds a realistic self-image based on effort and progress. The path of doing hard things daily is not glamorous. It often feels lonely and tiring, but it produces results that comfort cannot. It builds character, strength, and wisdom. The ultra-successful embrace this path because they know that mental toughness is the foundation of lasting achievement. It separates those who dream from those who do. Mental toughness built by hard daily actions also improves your relationships. When you face challenges with courage and responsibility, you earn respect. People trust you more because they see your strength. This trust opens doors for collaboration and support. Toughness is not about harshness but about reliability and integrity.
The habit of doing hard things daily prepares you for unpredictability. Life throws curveballs that can derail anyone. Those who are mentally tough adapt quickly. They see change as a challenge rather than a threat. This mindset allows them to stay productive and optimistic in uncertainty. Hard tasks sharpen your focus. When you commit to difficult goals each day, distractions lose their power. Your mind trains itself to zero in on what truly matters. This focus is critical in a world full of noise and interruptions. Mental toughness clears away the clutter so you can move steadily toward success. Each time you choose hard over easy, you rewrite your story. You prove to yourself that you are capable of growth beyond comfort zones. This rewiring creates a powerful belief system where challenges are welcome instead of fear. Your confidence rises because you know you can handle what life throws at you. This habit also helps you develop grit, the ability to keep going despite obstacles. Grit is a combination of passion and perseverance. Doing hard things daily strengthens both. It keeps your passion alive by giving you meaningful challenges. It grows perseverance by making quitting less attractive. Grit is one of the greatest predictors of success. Doing hard things daily is a declaration of self-respect. It says you value your growth and future more than temporary. This mindset changes how you treat yourself and your time. It pushes you to act with purpose and urgency. The ultra-successful live with this deep respect for themselves and their potential. The habit builds courage. Courage is not the absence of fear but the choice to act despite it. Each hard thing you do stretches your courage muscle. It prepares you for bigger acts of bravery. This courage fuels leadership, innovation, and bold decisions. It opens doors that comfort would keep closed. Daily hard work also develops resilience, the ability to recover from setbacks quickly. When you regularly push yourself, failures become temporary bumps instead of stops. You learn to bounce back stronger and wiser. Resilience is essential because every success story includes moments of failure. Doing hard things daily improves your mindset. It replaces negativity and doubt with confidence and optimism. It trains you to focus on solutions rather than problems. This mental shift empowers you to take control of your life. It turns obstacles into stepping stones. The ultra-successful know that hard work is not punishment but opportunity. Each challenge is a chance to prove strength, learn new skills, and build character. This perspective changes how you experience difficulty. It transforms fear into excitement and hesitation into action. The habit connects you with a deeper sense of achievement. When you finish a hard task, you experience genuine fulfillment. This feeling is more lasting than any quick pleasure. It fuels your desire for continuous improvement and higher goals. Hard things push your limits and expand your potential. They teach you that you are capable of more than you realize. This realization builds confidence and ambition. It motivates you to set bigger goals and take on greater challenges. Doing hard things daily helps you develop discipline in other areas of life. The self-control you practice in one task carries over to eating habits, finances, relationships, and more. This ripple effect improves your overall well-being and success. The habit keeps you engaged with your goals. It prevents complacency and boredom. Each day offers a new challenge that keeps your mind sharp and your spirit energy. By choosing hard over easy, you shape your identity as someone strong and committed. This identity influences your behavior and decisions. You become the kind of person who does not give up and who thrives under pressure. Doing hard things daily builds mental toughness that lasts a lifetime. It prepares you for whatever comes next. It empowers you to live with confidence, purpose, and power. This habit is the foundation for extraordinary success and a fulfilling life.
Number 10. Feed your brain daily with success-driven knowledge. Your mind is the most valuable tool you have. What you put into it determines the results you get out of life. Feeding your brain with success-driven knowledge every single day shapes the way you think and act. This is not about accumulating random facts or shallow information. It is about consistently choosing ideas, lessons, and principles that empower you to move forward. Knowledge that drives success, opens doors, expands possibilities, and sharpens your judgment. Every day offers a chance to grow mentally stronger by what you learn. The ultra-successful understand this and make it a non-negotiable habit. They read, listen, study, and absorb material that helps them improve. It could be books, podcasts, interviews, articles, or conversations with wise people. They approach learning with hunger and discipline. Feeding your brain daily means prioritizing your growth above distractions and instant gratification. Success-driven knowledge is practical and applicable. It is information that challenges your current thinking and pushes you to be better. It teaches skills, mindset shifts, and strategies proven to work. It prepares you to handle challenges with confidence and creativity. This type of knowledge is an investment. It pays dividends by helping you make smarter decisions and avoid costly mistakes. When you feed your brain daily, you build a mental foundation that supports your goals. Your thoughts become clearer and more focused. You develop the ability to see opportunities that others miss. This advantage grows over time, separating you from those who neglect their mental diet. Consistent learning creates momentum. It moves you steadily closer to your vision. The process of daily learning is also a source of motivation. When you absorb new ideas and success stories, you feel inspired to act. It reminds you why your goals matter. This emotional connection fuels persistence on days when enthusiasm fades. Knowledge combined with inspiration becomes a powerful force driving you forward. Feeding your brain daily also improves your problem-solving skills. Success rarely comes without obstacles. Learning new concepts and approaches equips you to face problems with greater ease. You can analyze situations more deeply and find solutions faster. This mental agility is a key ingredient of achievement. The habit of daily learning cultivates humility. No matter how successful you become, there is always something new to discover. This openness to growth keeps your mind flexible and curious. It prevents stagnation and arrogance. Ultra-successful people stay students of life because they know that constant learning is essential to remain at the top. Your environment influences what you feed your brain. Surrounding yourself with positive influences and high-quality information matters. Avoid toxic media and negativity that drain your mental energy. Instead, choose sources that uplift and educate. This careful selection is part of feeding your brain successfully. It protects your focus and preserves your mental clarity. The act of feeding your brain daily is a commitment to self-respect. It shows that you value yourself enough to invest in your potential. This respect builds confidence. When you know you are improving, it is easier to trust your abilities. Confidence attracts more opportunities and creates a positive feedback loop for growth. Success-driven knowledge expands your vision. It opens your mind to new possibilities and ideas. It challenges limiting beliefs and replaces doubt with faith. This expanded perspective helps you set bigger goals and dream bolder dreams. Your brain becomes a fertile ground where success can grow. Reading and listening with purpose develops concentration. In a world full of distractions, the ability to focus is rare and valuable. Feeding your brain daily trains your mind to block out noise and zero in on what matters. This skill enhances your productivity and quality of work. Learning every day also strengthens your memory and mental stamina. Like physical exercise, mental exercise keeps your brain sharp and active. The more you engage with complex ideas, the better your brain functions. This mental fitness supports creativity, decision-making, and emotional regulation. Success-driven knowledge connects you with like-minded individuals. Engaging with new ideas often leads to conversations and relationships that support your growth. These connections create a network of support and inspiration. Being part of a community focused on success accelerates your progress. The habit teaches patience and persistence. Growth through knowledge is not instant. It requires consistent effort and application. Feeding your brain daily means embracing a long-term mindset. It values slow and steady progress over quick fixes. This mindset helps you navigate setbacks and maintain momentum. Daily learning encourages you to reflect on your experiences. It creates space to apply new insights to your life. This reflection deepens understanding and solidifies change. It turns information into wisdom that shapes your character and actions. Knowledge gained daily becomes a source of empowerment. It reduces fear and uncertainty. When you understand how things work and what to expect, you approach challenges with calm confidence. This empowerment fuels bold action and resilience. Feeding your brain with success-driven knowledge improves your communication skills. Learning new vocabulary, concepts and ideas enhances your ability to express yourself clearly. Effective communication builds influence and leadership. It helps you inspire others and create opportunities. The habit also helps you develop critical thinking. You learn to analyze information carefully and question assumptions. This skill protects you from misinformation and poor decisions. It strengthens your ability to make choices aligned with your goals. Daily learning develops a mindset of abundance. Instead of seeing resources as limited, you begin to recognize endless possibilities. This mindset attracts opportunities and encourages generosity. It shifts your focus from scarcity to growth. Success-driven knowledge includes learning from failure. The ultra-successful study mistakes and setbacks as valuable lessons. This attitude reduces fear of failure and encourages experimentation. You become more willing to take risks necessary for breakthrough success. Feeding your brain with knowledge keeps you adaptable. The world changes rapidly. Those who continuously learn are better prepared to adjust and thrive. They see change as a chance to improve instead of a threat. The habit creates a sense of purpose. Knowing that you are growing mentally every day gives your life meaning. It connects your daily actions to a bigger picture. This purpose keeps you motivated and engaged. Daily learning improves your emotional intelligence. You gain insights into human behavior and motivation. This understanding helps you build stronger relationships and manage conflicts effectively. Emotional intelligence is essential for personal and professional success. Success-driven knowledge nurtures creativity. Exposure to diverse ideas sparks new ways of thinking. It encourages innovation and problem-solving. This creativity keeps you ahead in your field and opens doors to unique opportunities. The habit also enhances your discipline. Carving out time daily for learning builds consistency and focus. This discipline spills over into other areas of life, strengthening your ability to achieve goals. Feeding your brain daily helps you maintain a positive mindset. Learning about success stories, principles, and growth keeps negativity at bay. It fills your mind with hope and confidence. This positivity influences your behavior and results. The habit encourages gratitude. As you learn about possibilities and achievements, you appreciate your own progress more. Gratitude improves happiness and resilience. It keeps you grounded and focused on what matters. Success-driven knowledge supports your leadership skills. Leaders need to stay informed and inspired. Feeding your brain daily equips you to lead with vision and wisdom. It helps you motivate and guide others effectively. Daily learning develops your ability to set priorities. With more knowledge, you better understand what deserves your time and energy. This clarity leads to better decision-making and results. Feeding your brain is a lifelong journey. There is always something new to discover and master. Embracing this habit ensures that you continue growing no matter your age or situation. It is the key to sustained success and fulfillment. Every day you feed your brain, you invest in your future self. This daily commitment transforms dreams into reality. It creates a life filled with growth, achievement, and satisfaction. Your brain is your greatest asset. Treat it accordingly by filling it with success-driven knowledge every day.